Weekly briefing. Today's briefing will cover the period today, Monday, March 17th through this Sunday, March 23rd. And before I get into the regular slides for this upcoming week, I figured I'd highlight yesterday's storm system a little bit and some ongoing hazards associated with that. So I'm going to bring over here the storm reports from the Storm Prediction Center from yesterday. And you can see that down in North Carolina here where my mouse is, we had several wind damage reports throughout the day. And I really wanted to highlight up here in the far northwest in the Triad area, we had some pretty big hail actually from a pretty gnarly storm that developed yesterday evening. And in fact, you can see we have the little triangle black marker here, which signifies large hail of 2 inches in diameter. So we had several reports of, or a couple reports of 2-inch size hail, which is pretty impressive for our area. So most of these, not only the wind reports, but also the hail here in the Western Piedmont, a lot of that happened yesterday afternoon into the evening period. So overall, pretty impressive storms yesterday afternoon and evening occurred out west, western part of our county warning area. So anyways, so that was from a severe standpoint. I just want to highlight that and show that to you all. But I'll go back to the slide deck here and continue forward. The other thing I wanted to highlight, and this is again related to some ongoing hazards that I'll discuss here in the next couple slides. This is the estimated and observed rainfall totals for this event. So the color fill here you have is radar estimates. Then I also overlaid some of our METAR stations. So you can see that we did have a pretty good swath of anywhere from 2 to 5 inches, you know, from eastern Wake County, Johnston County, western Johnston County here, up into all the way up to Roanoke Rapids. And I think there was a Kokoraz report this morning in the Roanoke Rapids area of relatively close to 5 inches. So pretty good rain amounts up that way. We did put out some flash flood warnings last night. Obviously those have since been canceled and whatnot, but we do have some ongoing river flooding that I'll discuss here in the next couple slides. Particularly on the Neuse River, we are in minor flood at Smithfield, which is this left panel here. And you can see that the forecast has it staying in minor flooding through about midday tomorrow, Tuesday. And also nearby, Clayton is, as you would expect, also in minor river flooding. That is currently forecast to drop a little bit sooner, perhaps later this evening. So we'll be obviously watching those and issuing the necessary updated statements related to that river flooding in those points. I didn't put the graph on here. We will have to monitor Goldsboro. That typically is lagged if it does go into flooding compared to these 2 points. Right now, the River Forecast Center is not expecting it based on their current forecast this morning to reach flooding, but we will continue to monitor that as well. The other potential sites of concern here is in the Tar River Basin. We've been watching this morning the Fishing Creek site hydrograph here on the left and near Enfield. You can see that it's currently in action stage. It looks like it's starting to crest here, and the forecast is not, from the River Forecast Center, is not expecting it to go into flooding, but we will continue to watch that as we progress through today and this evening. What is expected to go into flooding on Wednesday is the hydro location here at Tar River at Tarboro, on the Tar River at Tarboro, the Tarboro location. You can see that they are expecting it to go into minor flooding sometime on Wednesday. So we will issue the necessary river flood warnings for those locations if needed. So anyways, I just wanted to highlight that. Those are really the remaining hazards associated with yesterday's system that will continue over the next couple days. Otherwise, I don't have the regional radar to show you, but there are some lingering very weak showers out there, particularly across the central to northern Piedmont and coastal plain. That's associated with the upper level wave that's coming through overhead right now. And we do have a cold front that has moved through overnight, and but we do have some lingering moisture in the air. So we do expect those showers to continue here for a little bit, but overall it should continue to dry out through the rest of today and into this evening. So that kind of leads me into the upcoming weather pattern for this week. And again, today, after those lingering showers tend to dry out, we will have high pressure building in behind it. We do have some gustiness out there, generally anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour is currently showing at our METAR sites across the area. And we do expect that to continue into the near sunset, and then it should start to diminish into the overnight hours. But nothing too concerning with that. Just wanted to highlight it will be a little gusty today. With that cold front moving through, it will be cooler too. And today and tonight. However, as we head into the midweek period, we will see a warming trend through Wednesday, and temperatures on Wednesday could reach the upper 70s, maybe a couple 80 observations show up as well across the South Carolina, North Carolina border. So should warm up, should stay dry Tuesday and Wednesday. Then as we get into Thursday, that's not being shown here because we skipped from Wednesday to Friday in these panels, but this system that is being highlighted over the central US will shift eastward, and it will most likely generate some shower activity on Thursday. There's a little bit of uncertainty on, if there's any storm concerns with that system. I will say that the upper level wave that's coming through does have some pretty good forcing over us aloft. So, something we'll continue to monitor. But right now, it doesn't look like it's too concerning from a severe weather standpoint. We could see some thunder, but we aren't currently highlighting that in our forecast, but something to monitor. Overall, though, the models are in pretty good agreement that it looks like a pretty low QPF event, maybe a couple tenths or so, but plenty of days here this early this week to iron out the details. But overall, it doesn't look like a really intense system as of now. So, but beyond that, we'll have high pressure building behind that, and it'll be cooler on Friday into the weekend, and we generally expect dry weather over that period. This is going to reiterate what I just said, but this is the QPF expected over the next 5 days. So it is highlighting, the Weather Prediction Center is highlighting perhaps some very low additional amounts this morning before these lingering showers dissipate and drier air funnels in. Overall, nothing too crazy. Dry Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, as you can see, even the Weather Prediction Center is also agreeing with what I just said, that generally speaking, we're currently not expecting much more than a tenth of a quarter of an inch. So as of now, it looks like not a very incredible rainfall producing event on Thursday. And then this is just your combined 5-day total. So maybe some higher amounts out towards the coast, but generally for central North Carolina, not expecting too much in the next 5 days. And with that, as you would expect, we're not expecting any excessive rainfall or flash flooding in this period, in the next 3 days at least. And again, on Thursday probably as well. Then this is the Storm Prediction Center's days 1 through 8 outlook. You can see that they're still highlighting in the day 1 here today in Sampson County in the far southeast there. That were general thunder, meaning there could be some thunderstorms down there. I think overall, though, the chances are pretty limited for the rest of the day. And it's not expected to be severe if a thunderstorm does develop down that way. And then otherwise, not expecting any thunder as of now in the next 8 days. So this is our experimental graphic hazard weather outlook viewer that we usually show each week or each briefing. And you can see that for today, it's highlighting a couple things. I would not be concerned about fire weather personally today. And then speaking of fire weather, it does look like perhaps Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday, there could be some limited conditions that are conducive to some fire weather concerns, which as we get closer to days, we'll, if we need to, we'll coordinate with the Forest Service and put out any statements. But as of now, it looks like pretty limited concerns in that front. The other thing to highlight here is you can see that on Thursday, this is actually for Thursday night into Friday, our temperatures are going to get cooler that morning, and it's highlighting the potential for frost freeze. I will mention that even though it's highlighting this, we don't technically start our frost freeze program until Sunday. So even if we're going to reach that criteria, we won't put out any products until we go into Sunday. But I have a slide on that that I'm going to highlight here in a couple minutes. So overall, not really too many hazards or concerns other than the river flooding I've already highlighted earlier, which is not even being mentioned here. But anyways, looking a little bit further into the future, this is our 8 to 14 day temperature and precipitation outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center. So just looking at the left panel first here. So I guess there is a signal where we can see anywhere from near normal to perhaps leaning towards some cooler temperatures, particularly out further west you go. So perhaps there's a signal for some cooler temperatures in this time period. This is valid March 24th through the 30th, so through the end of March. And then precipitation wise, not a crazy signal either way, but there perhaps is enough there for them to highlight us in a 33 to 40% chance of above normal precipitation. So slightly leaning towards above normal precipitation in that time period. So overall looks pretty standard for this time of year. Nothing too crazy, no crazy cold air blast or anomalous precipitation expected really in the that time period. So I mentioned this a couple slides ago, or 2 slides ago, I should say, that we will be starting our frost freeze program on Sunday, March 23rd. So this is when the growing season becomes active. We do like to highlight potentially temporal periods where outdoor plants and whatnot can be potentially impacted by frost or a hard freeze. So you can see on the slide that we do issue freeze watches, freeze warnings, and frost advisories. So we'll continue to do that until it's no longer needed. So just wanted to highlight that here, but that again, even though the hazard viewer was saying that Thursday night and Friday could be concerning for that, we will technically not issue any products until Sunday. And with that, I'll just do a quick summary here, and we can answer any questions that you have. So again, today we got a couple lingering showers out there. Shouldn't contribute too much as far as additional QPF. But that should dissipate with time today as drier air continues to filter in behind a cold front that moved through overnight. We will see a warmer weather and dry weather Tuesday into Wednesday, particularly Wednesday could get up into the upper 70s. On Thursday, we'll have a system move through, which will likely generate some showers. Overall, it doesn't look too crazy of an event at this point, but behind that system, it should turn cooler later in the week and into the weekend. And then again, the only hazards that we're currently concerned about is the ongoing flooding on the Neuse River and the potential flooding on the along the Tar River Basin. So with that, I would like to thank you for listening to me, and I can answer any questions you might have.